Hey guys, I've just finished reading the Shibuya incident in Jujutsu Kaisen. I can't recall the last time I really had this much of a thrill reading. It's a mixture of different series, right? There's a few scenes in here and a few panels that made me think about Chainsaw Man a lot. Maybe in regards to like the art style or just like the scary forms that a lot of these cursed creatures have in the later parts of the fights, but also in terms of just how everything got out of hand. It really got out of control, which made for a fantastic read. I had such an exciting time because I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what was going to happen next. So that was really an exciting read. And these fights, they have a lot of similarities with Hunter x Hunter in terms of having to strategize and having different abilities that have different, they have different requirements for their abilities. So having to go and play this game of chess against each other was really neat as well. It's like all these different things from all these different series have really come together to make this a really, really great read. It's as if they said, these are the best parts from Chainsaw Man, from Hunter x Hunter, and all these different bits, and they've put them all together for this series. So my investment into reading more of Jujutsu Kaisen has increased tenfold from this arc. This was really like a home run. This was such a great arc to really start reading the manga from, because this is the first part of the Jujutsu Kaisen manga I've read. I've watched the anime up until the Hidden Inventory and Premature Death arc, and that was it. That was when I got caught up with the anime, and the Shibuya incident is the very first piece of manga that I've read. So that's a really great way to start my manga journey with JJK. So just to boil it down, I had a great time. This was a crazy read. A lot of moments in here have solidified my favorite characters in the series, and I'll explain them in a bit. And if you guys have any thoughts in regards to the Shibuya incident, or just like your favorite characters when JJK, let me know in the comments down below. I don't expect this to be a really like a very structured video. This is just more of me just releasing my thoughts, because I literally just finished reading it and I just want to switch this on and just tell you guys how I feel. So I'm going to go through this arc bit by bit and just tell you the highlights on my thoughts in regards to these fights. So this is going to be a spoiler-filled video. If you guys are just waiting for the Shibuya incident to start at the anime, don't watch this if you don't want to be spoiled, because I'm going to be talking about everything that happens in the Shibuya incident in detail and explaining my thoughts. So if you don't want to be spoiled, run away. So firstly, I'd like to go and talk about the whole plan of sealing Gojo. It's a crazy plan, but the bastards have pulled it off. I didn't expect that to be the case. I really didn't. I mean, later on in the story, Gojo most likely may return. That's what my expectations are for a character such as Gojo. But in terms of talking about the severity of Gojo being sealed and how that can really kind of ruin the entire balance of the entire world, it's pretty crazy. But also, I mean, Gojo is crazy. Gojo is a force of like nature. He's a step above everyone else, and it clearly shows, especially at the first half, like the first kind of section of the Shibuya incident, where you have Gojo fighting in a 3-on-1 situation. You have Gojo versus Jogo, Hanami, Choso, and Mahito. That was really cool. I love that. It really just shows how much of a monster Gojo is, and I love the cockiness that Gojo has in facing these guys. It was a really fun read, but it was quite short-lived because, of course, Gojo ends up being sealed. Spoiler alert. But that was really cool. I didn't expect him to stay sealed in this entire arc. I thought that he may have just like broken out at some point, but no, he stays sealed. Surprise, surprise. Someone of that stature can, that's a tough seal to break, apparently. The fights with Itadori fantastic. There's so many. There were so many fights, and all of them had their own kind of flair. But of course, it really did get out of hand when Sukuna was released. And now let me tell you, moments like that with Sukuna eating the fingers and taking control and just going absolutely crazy everywhere and taking everyone out, that was crazy. That was cool. Now look, Sukuna and Jogo, the panel, iconic panel of them both fighting fire with fire, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I love that. Sukuna as a character is really cool. I like just how unhinged Sukuna is and how powerful Sukuna is. This series has really built up the power scales of a lot of characters and got you to kind of see what the limits are with certain characters in terms of power. So Sukuna's a really nice character just to kind of jump in there, wreak havoc, and just kind of shock you. Because when you think you know what the powers are in terms of the world, like what the limits of power are, characters like Sukuna just break everything. And it's kind of like with Gojo as well, which I really do like. But the Jogo and Sukuna fight, and the fire with fire, and the meteor as well, those are some really exciting panels to go and read. So I really, really did like that. Also, listen. I'm going through bit by bit. There's so many great bits, but let me tell you. When I saw the hidden inventory premature death arc, right? Toji is my main man. Toji, he's a beast. He's an absolute beast. And I'm like, this guy is the best. This guy is the best. So once he had died in that prequel arc, I was devastated. Somebody that good should stick around longer because he's a force to be reckoned with. He is a monster, and him as like a villain in the story is amazing. So when we had Toji return in the form of his spirit, and I'll listen, the way in which this series has been doing the kind of narrator, telling you, explaining situations for you, this is what I love about Hunter x Hunter, and this is what I love about One Piece, and they did it here, where essentially they explained how Toji, the soul of Toji, was that strong, it overpowered the body that was being controlled. Like, it was crazy. This man's spirit was that strong. This guy's soul, it overpowered the body that was trying to control it. Absurd. Crazy. But I wouldn't expect anything less from Toji. And man, when Toji came out, oh boy, this was a treat. This was a treat. Now listen, there's something that I'm noticing a lot when it comes to this series. And it's that the person that makes this series does a lot of cool flashy shit. Like a lot of cool stuff, right? And just doesn't have a means to explain it properly, or kind of just throws shit to the fan and tries to explain it later. And you can clearly see at the end of every chapter, there is like a section where he has to explain why things were, because he couldn't explain it during the fact. And I could definitely see at the very, very end with Toji, how Toji just essentially ended off himself to end the fight. That was a necessary thing to do because Toji is such a force that he would just break the entire arc and break the entire series. Like there would be no means to stop him. Like they showed Toji do the most incredible feats, and the only way to go and take him out the story, the only way to write him out of this arc is to off himself, because there's no possible way that anybody could stop this man. And that was a necessary thing to do that they had to write in. So I find that incredibly funny. But it's something I'm noticing with this mangaka, that there's a lot of throwing shit to the fan and just letting cool stuff happen. and just trying to kind of just wrap things up or trying to explain things after the fact. But I mean, look, it's really exciting for me. Like, I'm having a great time reading this, but it's something I'm clearly noticing with this. Also, Nanami, the GOAT. Nanami's the GOAT. And the way in which he sailed on out of this arc and the series, in the whole, you know, Breaking Bad Gus style with half his face blown off, it was haunting, it was crazy, and it showed how much of a monster he is. Incredible showing by Nanami, honestly. Like, wow, really surprising, shocking stuff. I mean, look, I'm not surprised and shocked because it's Nanami, but wow, like the way in which he had his send-off, wow. So this arc has solidified for me that Todo is my favorite character in the series, and especially I absolutely love that they've continued on this whole tag team effort with Yuji and Todo. I loved it when they did it previously, and so for them to do it again, I absolutely love it. It is amazing. And even though it was quite brief, it was amazing. It was fantastic, and we had some incredible scenes with Yuji and Todo. And man, having Todo's hand being cut off and still clapping, like with the nub just clapping, absolutely amazing. And then you have the final fight with Mahito and Yuji, where you have Geto stepping in after Mahito's had his final form. I absolutely love the final form. Very scary stuff, but ultimately you had Geto going in there and wrapping things up. And also, I've had a look at the next chapter after this to go and see that Yuta is having a big role to play moving forward, which I absolutely love. After watching the movie of JJK, Yuta is such an incredible character. I absolutely loved what he did. So the fact that he's being reintroduced into this series in such a huge way, I now understand the stakes that are at hand because of how powerful of a character Yuta is, that I'm excited to go and read the next part of the story. So I love that he's being reintroduced. But overall, guys, I mean, this arc, it was a emotional roller coaster is an easy thing to say. I mean, it was an emotional gut punch. It was an adrenaline rush. I think that's the main one. It's an adrenaline rush. So many highs, a lot of emotional moments, some incredible panels, incredible moments I would have never expected. And all of it wrapped up into such an adrenaline-filled read. So I know the trailer is out for this arc in the anime. I'm going to go and watch this now after this is done. And I can't have it on the screen because of, you know, the copyrights are crazy. But I know it's going to be 18 episodes. It's going to be a crazy 18 episodes. And for anybody that's anime onlys, they're in for a treat. It's going to be crazy. And the thing with me, with this series, right, is the first season, it felt like there were a lot of story arcs that were just getting quickly wrapped up in an instant. They didn't have the chance to really play out or really let it flow. It was just, here's a conflict, it's resolved in about 2, 3, 4 episodes. The Shibuya incident is going to be 18 episodes long, which is amazing. This is going to really be the arc that's going to set people in for the long haul, because it's done it for me. Now I'm fully invested in these characters, in this story. And now that I know that the stakes are this high and how crazy things can get, I'm just so excited to go and see what's next in the story. So yeah, consider me a full-fledged JJK fan. If you'd like me to do more videos explaining my thoughts after reading certain parts of the story, let me know. And also let me know in the comments what you love about JJK. Are you currently reading JJK? How far you are into it? What are you thinking? And what are your thoughts with everything I said in regards to the Shibuya incident? Let me know in the comments down below. I hope you all have a fantastic day. Take care, and I'll see you all on the next one.